Okay, I want to welcome everyone to our Monday, August 19th, 2019 meeting of the Whitley County Board of Commissioners. We'll start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First on our agenda, we have our County Attorney, Matt Shipman.
I just have a couple of things to kind of give you an update on, one of which is we did get the agreement between the city and the highway department all finalized. You guys signed it last month, but the city also approved it for the SDI project. And then I also looked at a memorandum of agreement between the city and the county related to the 911 and the dispatch and Mark's here. We've talked about that one. We probably need to make sure that we don't need to put a little bit more in there, but I have looked at it and it's a good start for that agreement. I think that's it, unless you guys have questions.
Commissioner?
I'm not sure of the agreement he's talking about.
The one on the 911? Yeah, Mark sent it to me to look at. I think then I'll make sure you guys get a copy of it. I'm not saying we should sign it today, and you should probably definitely see it. There really is not much in it at this point other than saying priority and phone calls. How a phone should or a call should transition.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to have a copy of it when you're done.
Actually, you can take that one. I just printed it off because Mark emailed it to me.
I'll just
And
read it
then
there.
look at it and then let me know, because you bring a different perspective on it than I do.
Okay.
Make sure that there's not stuff. And I know George said he was going to talk to the sheriff a little bit more about it. Make sure from a funding standpoint, there's no implications and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I wasn't sure whether there was anything to do with the 911 funds with that or not.
Yeah, we better look at it.
Yeah. Okay, next on the agenda, we have Troy Center for the update. Cindy?
I'm Cindy Baker, and I'm with Troy School. And I think annually we try to give you an update of things that are happening at the school and where we stand with the number of students that we serve. I think ahead of time I've given each of you a copy of our statistics from the previous year. We served 58 students last school year. We had 10 graduates. 37 of the students received transportation to and from the school. 100% of our students receive some form of scholarship dollars that we raise throughout the school year through grants and just corporate and individual contributions. We've had some transitions. The previous director, Nicole Trier, is now what's called our clinical director, and she's overseeing all the counseling aspect of what is at Troy School, making sure kids are getting mental health services that they need. We provide them on site for those kids if they need it. Every day there's a mental health counselor there. This is kind of a change from what has happened in the past. They've tried to deal with issues that students have had on their own as staff, but liability issues kind of push us toward having to have licensed mental health counselors there on site to work with the kids. Most of the kids are 90% dealing with some sort of childhood trauma, issues happening in their family. They're not succeeding in a traditional school environment, and so they find that they can be successful at our school. What we would like to see happen, if at all possible, if there's any funding opportunities that we could come to the county for, to see if there's any dollars that you could help support our school with, we would greatly appreciate that. I don't know what I need to go through in order to make that happen, but I'm willing to answer any questions that you might have at this point in time. This year, we've got 55 students enrolled already. We just started the school year last year, and so we are on track to break last year's record of 58 students at this point in time, so.
The operating budget's cut off down here.
Oh, I'm sorry, $464,000
I'm sorry,
roughly.
464?
464,548 is the actual figure.
These undergraduate students that you're dealing with, is there any chance that they will transition back to the public schools?
Sure. Some of them can if they want to. If the school thinks they're ready for that, if we think they're ready for that, that's definitely an option for them. The majority probably will not, but that's definitely an option that we work towards. So many of them need so much individualized attention that it's just not practical to do that. But if they're ready to go and they've caught up on credits, they think they can be successful there, we're definitely, open to them doing that.
Cindy, are you aware that the commissioners give $25,000 a year for?
Well, I wasn't sure how that worked, and so I thought I need to come in front of you and talk to you about what's going on there, and that our enrollment does keep increasing, and we're already almost running out of space that we have in the building that we just got in about 2 years ago. So I wasn't sure how that worked, so I thought it's best for me to be in front of you, tell you what's happening, and kind of go from there, so, yes.
That you will literally have to send an invoice. Well, because she can't just pay it out of the clear blue sky. She's got to have something to back it up, so.
I will be happy to invoice you.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic, thank you so much. Do you have any other questions?
I don't know, it's a great program. I've been through there a couple of times, and I really, it's something that's needed in our community, and the kids that are left behind
Yeah.
really need it.
Yeah, they are, and it's a great environment.
Yeah.
We have an intern this year from Purdue Fort Wayne, and she's actually an Eagle Tech grad from about 2015, and she was telling some people that she was placed at Troy, and they kept saying, oh my gosh, that's where all the bad kids are. And so whenever I met with her to talk to her about her internship, she said, is this really where all the bad kids are? And I said, you know what, they are fantastic kids, they just have some really bad lives, and so that's why they're here. And so she's like, okay, I understand that. So that's kind of how we look at it. They really are great kids, they just got a lot going on, so we're glad that we're there to help them. So,
Well, we appreciate what you do.
great.
What schools are participating this year?
Sure. Smith Green is participating, and they have contracted for 10 students this year.
Okay.
And then Whitco School is also participating just with an open contract. They didn't specify a number, but if they have students they want to refer, they are able.
Okay. So did you just leave out Whitley County Community Schools, or do they not
Whitley County
participate?
Consolidated has not been interested in working with us over the past few years.
Okay.
And so we're open to working with them if they're ever open to speaking with us further about how they
And
can
by,
work with
if I remember right, by working together, these schools are expected to give up the state money they get for these children, right? And that money comes to you,
a portion of that, yes.
a portion, not all of it. Okay. All right.
Exactly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Nathan Bilger. He's our Planning and Building Director. Larkin's Ridge, Fleetwood Acres, English Enclave Plats, and more family business farms, rezoning.
Want to take them in that order? Or?
Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, whatever's easiest for you.
Okay. Then we will take them in order. First one is the plat for Larkin's Ridge. For approval, acceptance and approval. This is a one-lot plat located along West Old Trail, west of Wolf Road.
West, okay.
What the petitioner, what the subdivider is seeking to do is just split off the tillable acreage from the acreage that's located around the house. House happens to be in the middle of the field, so it winds up being kind of a very odd shape plat then. Planning Commission did approve it, and of course there's right-of-way being dedicated as part of that.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve the Larkin Bridge.
Okay, we got a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a second. Discussion. Nathan, was that unanimous on this one?
I believe all three were unanimous, yes,
Okay.
at the July meeting.
Okay.
Further discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Next one is another one-lot plat. It's actually a replat of an existing subdivision. The reason it's a replat is that one of the lot owners was able to acquire next door acreage and add that to their existing lot, and when you do that, you have to replat the lot. So what they did was they actually replatted it and changed the name to English Enclave. So again, the overall shape of the lot is very similar to what it was under the old subdivision, it just has additional acreage. And that's located on North Etna Road, approximately 3,400.
Another one a little odd shape.
Little odd shape, yeah. They also have a shared driveway in there as well, which, again, was handled as part of the original subdivision.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the English Enclave.
We got a motion to approve.
Second.
Got a second. Further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Thank you. And then finally, of the plats, we have Fleetwood Acres, which is a two-lot subdivision located on 200 North, about a half-mile west of State Road 205 and Collins. This is being split off. I believe the intention is to actually have two buildable lots being split off. And just for the record, under our current zoning, these would be the only two lots that could be platted before triggering the need for rezoning. There's also some other things that have to be combined and so on in order to achieve this, but that's all pending. One note as well, the Highway Department did include a caveat about the driveway location on one of the two lots, I forget which is also noted on the plat. So that just makes it somewhat unusual. Usually we don't have quite a defined location as in this case. And again, right-of-way is also being dedicated with this.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the Fleetwood Acres.
Okay, we got a motion to approve Fleetwood Acres.
Second.
We got a second. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
Thank you. And then finally, well, actually, before I move on to the Moore Family Farms rezoning, wanted to update you on the Granite Ridge rezoning. That is still open. I've talked with them most recently in person about 2 weeks ago, and then we had a short email conversation last week, and they're still working is basically the best thing I can tell you. So they have until the second meeting in September to come back before the 90 days expire. So let you know where that stands. Do you have a copy of the ordinance for this rezoning?
No.
Here's one. This is a proposed rezoning from AG Agricultural to AGP Agricultural Production for more family farms. I believe it's actually in two names. One is their business name and one's their landholding name. It's approximately 115 acres located on the southwest corner, near the southwest corner of 400 South and 500 East. They do have an existing CFO on that property, and they are, in a nutshell, rezoning this property. The farm, More Family Farms, owns a lot of other acreage. This, though, is their core operation, and that's why they're seeking to rezone this property to allow for future expansion, and then also to ensure the longevity of their core operation, as I said. So, summarizing what they've said at the Plan Commission. Plan Commission did forward a favorable recommendation on this rezoning with an 8-0 vote. 8-0. Is that right? Yeah, 8-0 vote. Being that there was one member absent that night. There wasn't a lot of discussion. The majority of what was said was positive, and so I can't really relay too much else. The petitioner is here if you do have questions for them. Otherwise, if you've got questions for me.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve this ordinance 2019-09.
Okay, we've got a motion to approve ordinance number 2019-09.
I'll second for discussion.
We've got a second, and that is for amending the zoning classification of ag to ag production.
I guess I'm just wondering, what kind of feedback will we get by passing this?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, you know, we get a lot of calls sometimes on when we do things like this. You do it for one, you don't do it for another, so on and so forth. I'm just wondering. I mean, the Plan Commission was no votes against it, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
You said there's an existing confined feeding operation on the premises.
yes, there is. Yes, there is. And for what it's worth, there's also a Margie's. What is it? Margie's Place, which is a small little knick-knack shop, I guess you would call it. That's going to be continued forward as a permitted use because it's allowed in both AG and AGP, for what that's worth. Location, though, Don, is the big thing. Every location is unique, and so that's what's being looked at by the Plan Commission is the location and the factors that are related back to that location. So that's the best I really can tell you.
And maybe you already told me, but are they asked, what do you plan to do with this once we rezone it?
If you want, the petitioners can give you much more detail than I can, but the quick answer is they are seeking to do a CFO expansion to a Class 2 CFO, which is the next step up. They could do it either by special exception or through rezoning, but because the rezoning, again, kind of says this is our core operation and puts it on the map, as such, they opted for rezoning rather than special exception.
Is it fair to ask what animal we're talking about?
That is, I believe it's hogs, but there may be other animals as well. A mixture? Just hogs? Just hogs.
Okay.
I have to commend them at this time they're just doing one parcel of the land they own where the livestock is housed, and so it makes perfect sense. And that's one small parcel, 100, but 30, 40 acres, rather than do all they own.
I don't have any.
Okay, any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
This is originals when we,
I think
Don's
Don's
got
got the original there.
Unless there's anything else, I'll take those.
On that.
do you have anything else?
Nope. Granite Ridge was the big thing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Nathan. Next on the agenda, we have Scott Wagner for the junk and trash violation and demolition.
So as discussed before, we're waiting for our pest control report. Did get one preliminary report back that did indicate that there was a rat in the trap, so I forwarded that on to the health department.
We caught one.
She said that she's going to file that today in court for a hearing on demolition of the property if you wish to proceed, which I said we more likely did. That was your opinion last time. And so when we get a date, hopefully we'll have more evidence at that point, and hopefully we can get this done and back to you by the next meeting, if you wish, unless you want to designate somebody to sign off ahead of time, but you'd have to open up bids, and so we'll set hopefully next meeting to show
meeting
up
should be
and bring bids.
You want a motion to forge ahead, or just let it go?
Yeah, I think we probably should have.
I make a motion that we keep moving forward with this and allow the attorney to file the papers.
Second.
Got a motion to continue. We got a second. Discussion.
Yes, sir. Do they have to catch more?
Oh, yes, they left the traps out there, so hopefully they'll catch more.
Usually if there's one.
One won't do.
Well, I don't know. I mean, we have the testimony from surrounding neighbors as well to add to the court docket. As far as I know, the one resident's still chasing the one in his house, so he told me last time I saw him. I told him that he should offer $20 to each grandchild to see who get it done first. And that
Any further discussions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thanks, Scott.
Jen, will you add me to the next meeting?
Dan Weigold, 2020 aerial photography flight. Dan here?
Don't see Mr. Dan.
Oh, okay. Brandon Forrester, Highway Department update. Brandon is our Highway Director and County Engineer.
And I don't have too much to report. This meeting, we are done short chip seal season. We did about 28 miles plus. We finished up our last tank, covered up the areas that Matt mentioned with that the city helped fund for the area surrounding the SDI project. We went ahead and chip sealed that. That worked out well. Finished the tanker off. Community crossings. Fenton Brown is at Blue Lake, and they should be done shortly. I did speak with Brooks on Friday, and their plan, of course, weather permitting, don't call me on September 3rd of the afternoon if they're not there, but September 3rd, their plan is to start their project. Obviously, we've been dealing with a lot of storm issues trees, erosion, flooding, and that, but I don't think there's been anything too terrible. And after your last meeting, I met with the council to discuss our equipment plan and purchases. By consensus, we're going to move forward with bidding 2 single-axle trucks at the same time. One will come from the 2020 budget, and the other will come from encumbered funds from the 2019 budget. So the money is there, and there's multiple advantages to getting 2 at the same time. So, other than that, we have right-of-way permits, Jana? You don't have any? Okay.
Well, that's unusual.
We'll give you a break on the right-of-way permits.
We had 8 the last time, that's probably why it just balanced me out.
Yeah. Okay, so that's all I've got. You got any questions?
No, the only thing I have to say is, and we've said it before, that new chipper spreader does such a good job. The roads really look nice. They're doing a great job.
Got good equipment and good labor. Guys, they know what they're doing.
Are we done with the mowers right now, or are you still?
No, they're still out. Actually, I think this is the last week that we're going to use part-time. Now that we're done chip sealing, we'll send the guys out. They like to do their own territories.
Cool.
So,
Good.
yeah, we'll keep, as it keeps growing, we'll keep.
As long as it keeps raining, it's gonna grow.
Yeah,
This year's like a jungle.
yeah, I know. Where they started out east, it wasn't 2 weeks later and it needed mowed again, but that was this spring, but, yeah.
Well, thank you, Brandon.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Don, you've looked at claims. Let's,
Dan's here.
oh, Dan, make it. Oh. Okay, let's talk to Dan Weigold about the 2020 aero photography flight that's coming up.
I have an update. We've been able to succeed in getting some cash from other entities within our county. I got, just today, I got 6,000 confirmed from the Highway Department and 6,000 from our sheriff. Columbia City has come up with 12,000. I asked them to double it from what they gave last time because after looking at the area that they're taking advantage of, which goes clear out to 800 and up into Etna and part of the lake, so I started calculating that out because that's priced out per square mile. So I looked at that and said, hey, I think, the city should probably be a little bit more. And so they went ahead and said, yeah, we'll go 12,000 on that. I have the Whitley County Economic Redevelopment Commission. Met with them last week, and they came up with 12,000 also. And our county assessor come up with 30. So basically, I'm sitting on 12, 36, 66,000. So it's just a little over half of what we're looking at. Now, the other thing is, I talked to Pictometry last Thursday, and they have some new aerials, some new equipment, some higher resolution photography that we might be able to get. We're currently sitting on 4-inch in the urban areas and 6-inch county-wide. Neighboring counties are now looking at flying sub 1-inch pixel resolution, and they got a great deal going on right now. And that's why some of the other counties have bought into it. And he's still shooting me a price on that. I'm going to meet with him the first week of September to see where we're at, or if we're even in the ballpark. It sounds like we might be able to be in the ballpark of maybe getting a higher resolution photography, and the sub 1-inch photography is really, really good.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and they bought into some quicker jets or planes to fly. So that's kind of exciting after I got talking with him, and I'm just getting ready to talk to Noble County because I know they bought into it. So maybe an extra, he's guessing right now, he said, I could be way off, but he said maybe another 10,000, maybe a little bit more than that, we could get 1-inch sub 1 inch, 0.75 pixel resolution. If that's the case, oh my, that's really good, and it would be extremely beneficial for all the offices that utilize it. So I'm still working on a deal. After I heard that, I said, hey, can I buy into that a little bit or see what the options are? And then he said, well, what we could do is keep, if we did buy into that, then we can move the current contract out another 3 years, so it won't cost us any more than what we're paying right now. I mean, it all sounds too good to be true, almost, but I think it's worth looking into. So all these contracts don't really need to be signed until maybe, October. So we're still wheeling and dealing a little bit on that. So pretty excited to see if we can get the 1 inch pixel resolution, because that would be just spectacular for a lot of offices within our, especially sheriff's departments, and planning and building.
Fire departments.
Planning and building utilizes it all the time, especially the oblique images. And so with the new software that we bought for Beacon, I can set people up within our organization to view the obliques, and which would be very beneficial also, since we bought into that extra software now, because not everybody gets to see the obliques. That was instructed to me from the console. So.
Dan, will that affect our data storage at all?
It might. That's another thing we're looking at, because right now I know we're pretty much on the limit of that. Well, honestly, the obliques are coming from their location, so our storage right now is receiving that goes at some point their location. It's on the web, and it's all secure. It's all very secure. When we first started looking at this thing, can anybody get on there? And I suppose it's, anything's possible, but it's very well protected.
Dan, is this contract that you got for 120,000 or whatever it's gonna be, running that figure, that's for the whole county?
Yes, sir.
But that's flown over a 3-year period.
Yeah, or we get to pay for it over a 3-year period.
So we get to pay for it over that 3-year period also?
Right, yep. And so that's kind of what we're looking at, like the 30,000 the assessor gave, we're paying 10,000 a year coming out, so we can budget appropriately for that.
Okay.
Same way with the city, same way with everybody, so if you've got $6,000 coming, it's $2,000 a year. So we can budget it out. It's a lot, that's the one thing, one of the benefits going with pictometry. A lot of companies just want you to come up with the cash right all at once, and I don't think that's going to happen. Pictometry's been just great to work with. They've always, anytime I've called, they've pretty much dropped everything, came up and helped work it out, especially with the 911 system. It's been great. I don't have anything bad to say about it, which is unusual. But this company's legit.
When was the last time it was flown?
We got the state aerials in 2017. The pictometry flew in 2015, but the aerials we got were not to our satisfaction, so they said, okay, because the leaks were on, leak on.
Yeah.
So we want the leak off, that's one of the requirements.
Yep.
And said, okay, then they're not, they even knew that it wasn't going to be sufficient because nature just took over. They're pretty, aerial flights are very precise as far as when they can fly because of the sun, the wind, trees or leaves, and they just popped too early that year. So what they did was they gave us the 2015s and went ahead and flew again in 2016 and gave us those. So those were more accurate and a lot better looking. The state flew in 2017, so we took advantage of that, but they are not anywhere near the quality that we're accustomed to. They're usable, the shadowing was terrible, the resolution was not up to speed, and I talked to other counties as well. We're all upset with it, if we're going to go with that route again, we would like to have some say in how they're flown. I did meet two weeks ago, and the GIO, the Geographic Information Officer who runs the state, says, oh, I think we're going to fly again in 2020. I said, well, I need to know that. Well, I also talked to Wolpert, the guy, the company that flies for the state, and he says, I honestly don't see that happening because they don't have the money to do it. So I said, well, even then, the aerials were not to our liking, and so I don't see wasting money, buying up to that if the quality's not what we're used to. But this last week after speaking with Photometry, I'm pretty excited to see, what the likelihood is to get 1-inch special resolution for everybody to use. That would be pretty cool. It really is.
Thanks.
Well, thank you, Dan. Any other questions for Dan?
No, do you need anything from us at this time?
At this time, I'm still doing some research and seeing what those 1-inch resolution for.
All right, thank you.
And the cost, if it's even a reality. So, at this point, I'll know more after the first week of September.
Great.
Pretty excited to
Great.
check that out.
Thanks again, Dan.
Thanks.
Okay, Don, claims.
Yes, I did have an opportunity to look at the claims, and I found them all to be in very good order. I would start by approving the payroll claims.
Got a motion to approve payroll claims.
Second.
Got a second? Discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
And I would then make a motion that we approve the accounts payable claims.
Got a motion to approve accounts payable claims.
Second.
Got a second? Any discussion? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Okay, we've all had a chance to take a look at the minutes. Any amendments, any questions? They were August 5th, 2019.
Move we approve them as written.
Second.
Got a motion to approve the minutes as presented. We've got a second. Discussion. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you. Jennifer.
I have lease documents from Allen Business Machines for 93 of our printers and copiers. And I have reviewed it for accuracy. There are a few notes there, but nothing that affected the price in any way. Just address change and a couple other things there. And we have 2 representatives from Allen Business Machines if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you.
I looked at that already too, so.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion we approve the contract with Allen Business Machines.
Got a motion to approve the contract with Allen Business Machines for the print management system.
Now, it's gonna read that in the minutes, but we make the payments to US Bank.
Right, that's the
So
leasing agent.
So should we add US Bank in the motion so that, because you say, well, you said ABM, so I'd like to add US Bank as the
Okay.
payee.
It will amend it to be for Allen Business Machines and US Bank.
George signed it.
Okay, and I'd also give the chairman permission to sign.
Okay, giving me permission to sign.
Okay, and I second all that.
Second.
Okay, got all that? Okay, we got a motion, we got a second. Discussions. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, the same. Thank you.
I have to say one thing, we need to thank Jennifer for putting a ton of hours in putting this all together.
Yeah, and George, both of them. You guys did a great job of putting this together. Can we give the public a brief idea of how much money we saved, George? Because it was pretty astronomical.
We were, monthly savings on this is probably going to be right around $1,200, $1,200 to $1,300. And one thing that we did too is Jennifer went through and made sure that the machines that we've got, the department heads knew that the cost of them, and if there was any possibility that they could use another machine or eliminate that machine. And we went down from 103 to 93 this time, so it's...
Good job.
So just one spot in here.
$1,200 a month. Adds up after a
Pretty
while.
significant. Pretty significant.
Thank you, Jennifer. Anything else? Matt?
Anything else?
Jana? Commissioner?
Nothing.
Commissioner?
I'm good.
Public, have we got anything from the public? Yes.
I would like to know if there are going to be a regional sewer district meeting.
There is not.
No, okay.
Thank you.
Anything further? Well, we want to thank everyone for coming to our meeting, and at this time, we'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to adjourn. Those in favor, raise your right hand. Thank you, everyone. Nice short one.